Introducing right now, no. Introducing right now, no. Introducing right now, no. Right now. Give me a second, bitch, I blaze the mic down. I'm light brown, 6'1", big gun. Come through, have big fun. I get it all, and you get none. You get spun. When I spurn, I burn the track. I learn how to burn and don't get burned back. I'm lighter proof, I write on the roof. Psych, that's a lie, I freestyle. Introducing right now, no. Right now. Give me a second, bitch, I blaze the mic down. I'm light brown, 6'1", big gun. Come through, have big fun. I get it all, and you get none. You get spun. When I spurn, I burn the track. I learn how to burn and don't get burned back. I'm lighter proof, I write on the roof. Psych, that's a lie, I freestyle. Introducing right now.
Shalom, folks. Good morning, everybody. Monday, May the 7th, 5 o'clock a.m. It's Ev. What's good? It's been a minute, y'all. It's been probably a little while since I've been here. But this morning, it's the eve of my court date, which is Tuesday, May the 8th, 8:30 a.m. Quite sure everybody know that's been following about the arrest, the illegal stop, which is what I'm going to court to fight tomorrow. A counterclaim for false arrest, kidnapping. And I wanted to talk to everybody this morning about the law, what it is, where it comes from, and what you need to know is your rights. Once you know what your rights are, the law runs right along the lines of that. And the whole event, the thing that the government was created for, what most people don't get, is for you, the people. Listen to it. Honestly, you don't really understand what's going on. Without the people, there is no government. That's the first part. So the government has to suit the people. And we wrote a constitution with the people in mind, not the government in line, such as men can sue men. Like, if you do something to me, I can say you did something to me. You understand? The Constitution is based on everybody being a free man, with the exception of you doing something to another man as property. Anything goes, pretty much. You understand what I'm saying? No harm is basically what the Constitution is written off of. You have a right to this, a right to that. You have all these rights, unalienable rights, Bill of Rights, with the exception of you taking somebody else's rights away. That's breaking the law. No more, no less, man. But it's been explained to us under the pretense of something else, you know. So you have man, and I'm a man, you're a man, woman, man, you know what I mean? No man has any more power on this planet than anyone else. Well, here in America, this is what the Constitution is governed off of. That's so I can't say one thing, or me, or my opinion is, hey, John, you should pay me $50 every week just because I said so. And if me and 3 of my friends say, hey, yeah, we agreed, you got to do that, John. You're a free man, John. Why should you pay me and my 4 friends or me and my 3 friends anything, right? You shouldn't. There's no way I can force you to. No man on the planet can force you to agree to anything, any kind of thing, unless you sign a contract. Then it's binding. That's contract law. That's what America is based off of. The United States of America is based off contract law, because the United States of America is a corporation. When you sign into it, or you sign an agreement to do business with it, then you're liable, or that's what's called legal. But up until that point, you're a free person, and all you have to do is not agree with it. That's it. You sign into things, you sign out of things. What I'm saying to you is this: we're born free people. No other man can guide you in any way, shape, form, or fashion. As long as you don't harm another man, you don't have business with any other people. You have a right to remain private, silent. You don't have to give up anything unless you break the peace or you disturb the peace, which is doing harm to another one of America's private citizens, right? The police protects the public. Well, what's the public? The public is an area where more than one private citizen come together. A baseball stadium becomes a public place. If it's one person there, it's not a public place. It's just one private citizen there. So it's not a public place. Who are you offending if you do something there by yourself? Who's going to press charges against you for harm? The same thing applies all the way around. When you agree to it, you become subject to it, subject matter to it. If the court doesn't have jurisdiction over you, they can't charge you with anything. If you're not subject to the law, if you're not subject to the law, then they don't have jurisdiction over you to hold you accountable to that law, or I shouldn't say law, I should say statute, status, code. Yeah. So if you don't agree to that and you didn't sign into that, you can't be guilty of that. That's jurisdiction. That's the beginning of knowing what your rights are. See, if you haven't violated anybody's rights, then you didn't break the law. Life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. This is your constitutional rights, unalienable, born with that. Nobody can take that away from you. You know, life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. Pursuit of happiness, you got to be able to pursue what you want, right? Work, obtaining things. Life, that explains what it is. Liberty is to have anything anybody else has, right? Free to move around, free to own things. All of this is in the Constitution. You can't take any of these rights away from somebody. There's no, you have a right to travel at a certain mile per hour. You have a right to park at a certain place. You have a right, like to travel hands free. You understand what I'm saying? Rights, how none of this stuff is taking away somebody else's liberty. If I'm driving 70 miles an hour and there's some speed limit suggesting that I drive 50 miles an hour, why should I even listen to that? If I'm not harming anybody, how can you tell another man how fast to move about, especially when you don't own that man? That would be slavery, won't you think? And here's the situation with the automobile, or the thing that people like to call a motor vehicle. Once again, the state of government has nothing to do with that. That's your personal good, personal belonging. It's called the household good. And there's been court cases that ruled in that favor. Malacourt versus DMV or some finance company. They ruled that what they try to classify as a motor vehicle was indeed an automobile, a household good that family could use for their own. Nobody else could use it. A motor vehicle is used in commerce. See, it's different little tactics that they use as well. You have law dictionaries, and regular day-to-day words mean a lot different in law than they do versus the layman. Same as driver. When they call you a driver, they just classified you as someone that drives for commerce, which you clearly don't. So these are little tricks. In a law dictionary, if you get classified as a driver, if you agree to it, that's someone that drives for commerce. Then you're subject to needing a driver's license because you're licensed to be a driver. Anybody else is just traveling around at your own free will in your household good or your automobile. You're not driving a motor vehicle. You understand how the law works? All you need to know is how to present this in a court of law, court of record, court that's going to uphold the Constitution. I know it seems like, oh, you're just getting away with murder. No, you're not getting away with murder. What happens is people try to judge your morality versus the law. Like, that's how the law is. Or you'll have everyday citizens saying things like, oh, well, you have to do this, you have to do that. No, you don't have to do this or you don't have to do that. You've been told a lot of things that aren't the truth, such as taxes are mandatory and taxes are not mandatory. We already set up. We're straight with taxes here. Anything else that they taking out of your payroll, that's just some excessive shit, man. It's a lot of things that we don't know that we just go along with because it's been lied about for so long. Even now, challenging stuff with people that's on the same side that I'm on. They'll defend the system. A lot of times I'm talking about this information, and even racially. Like, it'll be white people that won't agree with it just because I'm black, right? Or a Negro, or whatever you perceive me as, when clearly this information helps them out as well. They'll start defending the system that's been tricking them from the beginning. You know, you got women taking men downtown in our community, child support, where the money is already there in the beginning. Any state that has a program is federally funded. Whether they find that dad or not, the money is already there. But women give that custodial right back over to the state when they sign certain documents. So maybe you were supposed to get $1,000 a month. That was allotted for you already federally. But you sign some papers back over to the state. Now they get that $1,000, well, $1,000 a month. Maybe send you $250, they keep the difference. Things like this. And then she's bitter at the guy. He doesn't owe. Ladies, this guy doesn't owe you for having sex or a bad relationship. I know morally it sounds crazy that he doesn't have to take care of that kid because it's not a crime. But no crime was committed. You know, you had sex and it was a bad relationship, but no crime was committed. Sounds crazy, right? But no crime was committed. And we have brothers in jail doing life for having marijuana on them, smoking marijuana, walking around after they got patted down for no reason at all, right? This is what I'm just saying. Like, it's all kinds of reasons that they have our brothers in jail. Ladies, you may not have known that's one of those reasons, but they're taking away license, things that guys don't need in the first place. You know, it's a war on us, and we getting it from everywhere. You dig it? From everywhere. And it's all surrounding the law. Everything has to do with the law. So the closer we get to the law, you know, the more they can't use what we don't know against us. And I started my journey with the law and the scriptures, and it's amazing how they parallel each other. And the actual Constitution was written off the scriptures with the Bible in mind, with God being the creator, creating us, and no man having any other power over anything that God created. So if you didn't create it, you can't control it. That's pretty much the rule. That's pretty much what the Constitution represents, and it's saying as long as I don't step outside of my boundary and infringe upon anybody else's life, liberty, or pursuit of happiness, I haven't broken the law because I haven't taken anybody else's rights away. And that's what your government was created for, to make sure that I don't take anybody's rights away and no one takes my rights away. You know, if that happens, then their authorities take over then. Other than that, we have no dealing with the government. You know, the government with these bylaws, status, and codes, they're turning us into like wartime Nazi Germany, when at any time they can approach you, ask for ID. That's like military law, or what is it? When people go martial law, right? That's like martial law, just demanding, pulling up on people, asking about headlights, asking about speed, like safety belts. That's martial law. I don't think people understand. Like, our liberty is to move about as freely as we want, as long as I don't infringe on another citizen. That's it. I don't think y'all really understand that, because we basically never been free. So we don't really know or sit down and think, actually, I am a free person. All these rules, things like social security cards, why do you think you need that? Honestly, like, think outside the box for a second. What's so wrong about not having that, or a driver's license? We really can't even begin to understand how far under this thing that we are. You know, these are tracking devices. I just created my own ID with my name on it, you know, identifying marks, the year that I was born, and I'm going to have it notarized by the public. Why can't I use that ID? Nobody ever thought about that. The state has to give you the final authority on who you are. Then if I wanted to change my name, I have to go through the state. Like, the state has nothing to do with my birth. They're way too involved in our life. You know, the only thing that the government should have to do with you is if you choose to be a part of it. Now, they have different programs, taxes, Social Security, driver's license. If you choose to be a part of it, that's wonderful. You made a choice, but they never let you know that it was a choice. You know, collusion, right? Not full disclosure. That alone voids you from being a part of it, but you have to know how to present this in a court of law. And as far as attorneys, that's another thing. There's no such thing as a law license. You know, none of that. You look at the Licenses Bureau, check it out. See if you see anything in there that license an attorney. It's never existed. The bar is a membership, and that's a state accredited thing. So you're barred by the state. So who do you think best interest that you hold in regard? Like the state, who basically cuts your check, butters your bread, or some guy that you never met before that he taking his case, and then you got to tell him everything. You understand? Like full disclosure with your attorney. So you basically telling your attorney that you did this murder. He works for the state. I'm just saying, like, if it's a murder or whatever it is that they accuse you of, or they claim that you did. Let's say claim. Let's use the words claim. Claim and complaint. A claim is me saying you did something. A complaint is official charge. Like a complaint is murder. A complaint is violating somebody personally. A claim is a civil kind of piece of shit, right? So when somebody claims something against you, they have to sit there, right, and say you did it. Sit across from you. Say you did this to me. This cost me that. Fix it. Remedy it. Speeding ticket. Who did that cost anything? Who can say I owe them something by speeding? Unless that speeding caused me to run into them, then you have a crime. It's crazy. It's sad, right? But as long as it's not a crime, you can't get in people's way. You can't cut people off. You can't say, oh, you might do this. Therefore, we got to make sure you can't. So we got to make sure you, as a grown man, is governed by me as a grown man, because I know better than you as a grown man. Why? You understand what's happening now? That's kind of like one voice saying that we're dominant over you. Again, why? What gave you special powers? Because outside of clocking in, putting a robe on, or putting different suits and shit on, you're a man. So no man, your outfit makes you more powerful than another man. That's basically an occupation that you have, such as the police. You wear a blue suit so you can pull me over whenever you want and say anything to me. Why? Somebody's life, liberty, or pursuit of happiness get violated? Did somebody say that they saw me rape somebody, shoot somebody, rob somebody? No? No emergency? Okay, so again, why should I even stand trial if no one was violated? This is your country, America. This is the greatest country on the face of the earth. But they swindle their citizens out of life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness every year for stepping on their constitutional rights. And that's because people don't know their rights. Once you know your rights, the law runs right in line with that. So if you don't violate a person's rights, you haven't broken the law. Life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. Taking what's mine, damaging what's mine, or killing me or damaging me. Pretty much, that's the law. You stay inside of that, you shouldn't have any problems. It's called no harm, and your Constitution supports it. Your government does everything in its power to take it away, starting with deceiving you what it actually is. So tomorrow morning is my court date, and I already know how it's going to play out. See, everything I did was lawful. Now, the system is set up to try to rob, basically, and they're going to fight it. They're going to do everything they can do to fight it, appeal, but I'm ready because I'm my own attorney, No, I don't practice law, and That's the word, practice. Practice means you get paid for it in the state. The state says that you can practice. So you're a part of our club, right? And even that's against the Constitution. Like, a state has the monopoly on law. And they will try not to let you represent someone else in court. They'll say you don't qualify. You don't qualify to say who you want to represent your freedom. Even that part is like against the law. How can you tell another man who can represent himself in a court of law that was supposedly erected for people to settle their differences? Even that part's crazy. Again, there's never been any such thing as a law license. The bar is a board accredited by the state. It's a conflict of interest. You understand? Like, how can the state charge you and attorneys work for the state? The judge works for the state. You'll never get a fair trial. Have an attorney, you're already in the hole, because one, any attorney knows that if it's not a crime, you shouldn't be in court in the first place. Even down to marijuana. Drugs, what the government says you can't have. Why can't I have it? You need to say that. Why can I not have it? When did I sit down and agree with y'all that if I smoked marijuana or grew marijuana that I would go to jail? You can't tell a free person that, especially if he hasn't harmed anyone else. The real issue is people aren't as tough as they think they are. Everybody talk a lot of shit. People gonna pull up, kick ass. But this is something worthwhile, and it could change our walks for a long time. But ain't nobody tough enough to dig in now. Don't nobody want to go to jail for their rights now. Everybody's scared. Well, I'm standing on it. I've been in the teeth of the beast with what I'm talking about. And my court date is tomorrow to finish off, or maybe even begin my journey in law officially, right? So, I know one thing. I'll be here as long as it takes, because the law works. The problem is we don't know how to make it work. Let me say this to you real quick. Donald Trump didn't pay taxes, and he's the president. You think if the IRS could have pinned his ass to the wall, they wouldn't? If they would have. If they had something on Trump to nail his ass, they would nail him. And he didn't pay taxes, admittedly. You know what he told us? We wasn't smart enough to do it. You know what? He was motherfucking right. You know what I am now? I'm smart enough to do it. And now people mad because you know how to work, or you know what the Constitution was set up to do. Listen, y'all. They're not going to give us anything. You're going to have to fight for it. Nobody ever gave us anything. Dr. King's not here. Malik not here. Nobody's here. It's a different time, and we still facing the same issues. But we just bitching and complaining now because we don't know our rights. We don't know the law, and that's what's keeping us right in the same place. You take stuff back legally, lawfully, but you have to know these terms to approach them on those levels. My constitutional rights got violated. My personal property got damaged. I got taken out of my personal property. I didn't do anything to anybody. I was just driving by, and these so-called peace officers decided to try to extort me for whatever reason. They just grabbed me. I'm a free man traveling. Didn't bother anyone. I got a daughter at home, a life. You know how these confrontations go with these beasts, right? I'm the right color anyway, especially for this climate. I could have been killed for nothing. A tag that was covered up by bicycle straps for a bike rack, right? My life was in jeopardy for that. We know how these confrontations go. You violated the Constitution. You swear an oath to protect the private citizens, not violate them. The Constitution that you swore an oath on, you violated on camera. Now, it could have been racial. It could have been. But that's not what I'm going after. I'm going after it civilly. These cops got to be off the street. All these officers involved with this stop, I need it for you. I need that federal order, information. I need to see their oath, basically. I need to see that they swore oath. Because they basically violated it on camera. They have to be let go because of that. See, fuck the police brutality. You know, fuck the angry stuff. I'm going to get them on what the law and the Constitution says. So now if they don't hold up the Constitution, I'll just keep pushing it and pushing it and pushing it. When I get a trial by a jury, it's real simple. The Constitution was violated. The thing is holding them to the law and not letting them escape, because they will try. They're going to push what you don't know. They're going to try to battle you. This is why it's so important to know the terms of the law, to know the cases. This is what makes you an attorney. You're able to do business inside this courtroom. You know this case, you know that case. It's not a license that make you an attorney. It's knowing your rights. It's being able to attorney. Anybody can be an attorney. If you want me to speak for you legally, that's an attorney in fact. An attorney at law is just somebody that passed the bar. Membership. Motherfucker, no more intelligent than I am. Actually, they don't want to do business with me because they don't abide by the Constitution. They abide in the get-rich-quick scheme. So they'll say anything they need to say for cha-ching. They basically do business for cha-ching, right? Not civilly for people's rights. That's what the common law and Constitution represents, y'all. I hope this broke down a little bit more of what law is. But at the bottom of it, you're going to have the balls. Yep, the balls to fight for your rights, because they're not going to give them to you. This is what the civil rights movement was all about. So don't sit in 2018 being a coward talking about how you supported this or supported that. We badasses. We ain't shit. It's still going on now. I mean, I already been to jail. Everybody talking shit. Niggas want to beat me up. Don't nobody like me. Right. Oh, yeah, all that's good, motherfucker. But we got a bigger enemy than that. And I already done started punching with him. So all you motherfuckers that don't like me, hey, let's get rid of this enemy, right? Then after we get rid of this enemy, then do business with me. Get your not like for me off your chest then. Right now, we got bigger fish to fry than your little personal ass grudge. The one thing that the Moors, everybody like to talk about the Moors. What they did understand was when they came together, no matter who they were, African Moors, Arabic or Moors, Hebrew, whatever, they came together under that one flag because that cancer was bigger than all of them together. And when they did come together, they whipped ass in Al-Andalus. Well, Spain, what you call it. Remember that. Bloods, Crips, anything. Y'all destroying each other with a bigger enemy. You understand what I'm saying? One flag for a little bit. It's a big ass army. Boys come through dumping. That's a big ass army. That's all I'm saying. All y'all have the same enemy. 12, one time. The boys in blue. No matter what color your flag is, that motherfucker is your enemy. One day y'all gonna figure it out. One flag. Earth is green. Peace.
Hey, now see what I can do with it. Old school, I'm not new with it. Ho, you blue with it, me too with it, nigga. You can't skew with it. Check the sale. Check, I'm not stale. I'm fresh, I'm on the rail. I'm live wired, desire to box with a pair of pliers. I outfox the fox. Cantaloupe, can we elope? Nope, hit the slope, you dope. The ice pick in a nice mick, bitch. We can fight, put the bite on your dogs like Mike Vick. No, I'm not nice. I'm in a fight. The act device, niggas know I slap you twice. I do it once for Deuteronomy. Who can calm with me? Calm. Ring the alarm, bitch. Slap with the palm quick. It's the palm shit, but not on Sunday. Ted Bundy. Drop off when I rock with Honey. Honey 2K.